What's up, subscribers? Today we have a very suspicious episode of Munching with Mike, with me as your host, John, part of the Munching with Mike crew. I'm bringing one back from the 2015 archives, and it's a curried butternut squash recipe for you all to enjoy. It is a delicious soup that I suggest everyone tries. And without further ado, here it is. First you take the butternut squash and you cut it in half like that. Scoop out the insides, put it in the trash. Garbage disposal, compost. Oil the squash a little bit, put it in a pan, set the oven to 375 degrees, and let it heat. When it's at 375 degrees, put it in the oven. It's gone. So, dice up most of an onion, depending on how big the squash is, you know. A whole onion is fine if it's a nice size butternut squash. I'm using kind of a little one. Dice up an apple, 2 apples actually, and remove the skin, peel the skin off first, and start warming up a little butter or oil in your pan, and you're going to need some vegetable broth with this stuff and garlic. Okay. So you want to stir in the apple slices and the onion slices and the garlic with a little Molly McButter, or whatever fat kind of thing you use, and you want to get this. This is the secret ingredient here: Thai red curry paste. It makes for a delicious time eating. Delicious time. You want to use. Whoops. You want to use a couple teaspoons of this. Whoops. It's really hard to do. This is a half a teaspoon, so I'm just kind of doing the thing. Alright. Glob that on there. And stir it in. Looks good. Looks starting to look a little colory, right? Put some red in there. Whoops. It's really overrated, I think, trying to do 2 things at one time. I think I'll stick with one or the other, right? You kind of compromise on one, either the video or the taste of this. Whoops. I think we all know what I'm doing here. Alright. As you can see, I added the vegetable broth to the dish here, and I got to add some of the squash. That squash I took out of the oven. They were face down, and I just flipped them over. So, as Harrison Ford would say, we need to get a bigger boat. So, I'm going to dump it in this one here. Smells really good. It's going to be really hard not to eat it right now. I'm pretty hungry. There's our bigger boat. Now we're going to put the butternut squash into that, but I'm going to cut it up a little bit so it's not so tough. So I put what used to be in there on there, and I cut it up into little pieces. I put it right in there, and so everything's in there: the squash, the bisque, the onions, the garlic, the curry paste, and the apples. And they're all in there in one big pot. As Harrison Ford says, you're gonna have to stir it for a while. So you gotta simmer it, stir it for a while, and put a lid on it. Now it's been sitting around for about an hour and a half, but you don't need to wait that long. You want to put that stuff in this thing, the Vitamix blender. Now it's in the blender, and you want to put on your safety glasses, put on the top there, and torque this thing. Make sure it's plugged in, torque it. Alright, I like to put some coconut milk in there too. Now, I put the can of coconut milk in, and it's ready to pour. Maybe put a little salt in there, a little pepper. Pour it into your bowl. Nice, consistent, and as Harrison Ford says, "Ooh, that's a good bowl of soup."